All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. Today we have one that you never want to hear with a provider turning down their service by any means. But unfortunately, here we are today talking about Starlink and some of the changes they made to one of their most popular features, and that is the pause feature on their plans. What this initially did and has done up until recently now was allow you to pause service for times you're not using it. So for me, I have this as a backup. I don't use it all the time. It was nice to be able to just pause it and unpause it as needed to be able to take advantage of our Roam service. As you can see, we're currently on the Roam 10 gigabyte plan, but unfortunately, they have made changes to this. They're calling it an upgrade, so to speak. I definitely don't think that to be the case. So now with this mode, when you actually go to pause service, it's totally different. When you go into this, you will see now that the only option to pause it is going to cost $5 a month. It is not that huge of a deal, personally, I don't think, because you will now still be able to get unlimited low-speed data in case you need emergency messaging, as it says, and easy reactivation even in dead zones. However, yes, you now cannot be charged $0 for these plans. It is $5 at minimum. So before we go any further into this, comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about this change. Are you okay with it? For me personally, again, I am, simply because I was only paying $10 to begin with, and that'll probably encourage me to keep this plan. But even if I did want to pause it now, it is only going to be half the cost at $5, but I can see how people would be very upset with this change, especially if you were hoping to save 100% on whatever you were paying before. So if you have this Starlink service and want to go into this new standby mode, you can see you will have to confirm it like you always would do, but you're going to be charged $5 a month. Now, you can always change your plans as we have historically. You can see you have your Roam 50 gig, Roam Unlimited, Global Roam, Local Priority subscription, and Global Priority subscription that obviously vary in price depending on which one you opt in for. But like we just said, and you can actually see it here too, standby mode is now listed here as a change to your service plan. Whereas before, when you just went to pause service, that was it. End of story, swipe, no charge. So it's one of those things. It could be a little sticky for some people, but I'm curious what you guys think, like I said. Aside from that, no other recent changes have been made. You can see I've used 21 gigs on a 10 gig plan, but I do have Roam enabled, or I should say over gigs enabled, so I will be billed $10 per gig on this plan. Again, I don't use this all the time, so it's perfectly fine with me. The times I use it to be charged a little bit more. Aside from that, everything else has stayed the same. If you do decide to use Starlink and pick it up, we definitely appreciate you using that referral link. We greatly appreciate it as always. Last thing I want to touch on is, again, that router mini. So we didn't do a full review on it after we unboxed it and set it up, but I do want to give you guys a quick update on that, and that is that it's still awesome. I do think you probably will need more than one. The range doesn't seem to be great for multi-story houses if you have one of those, but otherwise it is still a great service to have, even on a single floor plan if you have one up front and the back of the house. If your router is actually in your vehicle like we do, I keep it in my Tesla at all times. But even in the Tesla, I have a single router mini that will actually work on the house 90% of the time. The 10% is in the back end of the house where it is not a good coverage. It is very weak and definitely a lot slower. Which also brings me to my last point, whereas you know what your speeds were on your prior plan here with the 10 gigs and what you would kind of tap out at. With the pause service, it's very, very minimal. I want to say it's like 500 kilobits per second instead of megabits even, which is, again, super, super slow. So just something to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like I said, that's it for this one. Quick, short video. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.